Welcome, guys. Max Millionaire here with Labor Day Live. How y'all doing? Hello, BLW TV. How you doing? Well, I just wanted to come on today. I came across some videos that I really wanted to share. They're all from the same guy over in the UK. And I thought they were very interesting and give you a little bit of background about this. This is from West Yorkshire Police in Action. And it doesn't seem like these videos are recent because he talks about that that he's already gotten a lawsuit settlement. So apparently he filed a lawsuit over 7 different instances. So, and this is just kind of to show you guys that, you know, the problems we have with police are not necessarily limited to here in the United States. They are worldwide. It is a problem in a lot of other places, and we don't always see it though. So this is West Yorkshire Police in Action. I've provided a link in the description. Check him out. I don't know if he's planning on doing more future videos or what he's doing, but take a look. Let's see. I've got 4 different videos here I want to take a look at. And let's start with this one. Now, this guy basically is what he's been doing is like auditors do here, whatever, or they're filming the police. So let's take a look at this one.
Young man, can I ask what you're doing, please?
Can I ask who wants to know what I'm doing?
Detective Constable in the West Yorkshire Police.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
What?
I'm minding my own business.
Right, but you were filming me as I came in through the car park, and you're filming the cars here.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is
Can I
that
ask
it?
why you're doing it?
I don't wish to discuss it.
Right. Well, I'd like to know, please.
Well, I
Is
don't.
that on at the moment?
Maybe it is,
Can you
maybe
turn
it
it off,
isn't.
please?
No, I'll do what I like.
Well, would you like to just accompany me to the
No, I wouldn't like to accompany that. Are you arresting me?
No, I'm
Have
not.
I done anything wrong?
No, not
Am
at
I
the
under
moment.
arrest for anything?
No.
In that case, then please leave me alone.
Right. Well, can I ask why you're recording me? And can I ask why you're taking
You can,
a
but
picture
I
of the
don't
police
wish to
cars?
discuss it.
Right.
That's the answer.
Well, I'm asking you a civil question now.
Well, I'm telling you with a civil
Right.
answer, I do not wish to discuss it. Thank you very much.
Some of these private cars are private individuals.
Yes, so what?
Pardon?
So what?
Well, should he be doing that?
Is it illegal to do that?
At the back of the police station when there's security issues involved, maybe.
Which law am I breaking then? Would you like to tell me which law I might be breaking?
I'm not breaking anything.
Okay, in that case then, please leave me alone.
Okay. And why are you taking pictures?
All right then. Right.
Let's
hang
go
on,
this
hang
way,
on, hang on. Am I under arrest?
You are now.
Right, thank you. Pardon? It's all right. I'll have a word.
All right.
Oh, right. Your name, please.
Come here. Get up.
Tyler. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. The police. Hello, I'm fine, thank you. Is Mr. Battle available?
He isn't, no, they're in a meeting with SMT
Okay,
till
will you
half 4, so
kindly
just-
let go of me
It's
soon
okay,
as I'm
it's
not
fine.
under arrest, Mr. Tyler?
I'll come and brief you inside about
Yeah.
it, it's alright. Cheers anyway, thanks a lot.
Can I make a complaint against Mr. Tyler, please?
No, you cannot, because you're doing this on purpose
No,
in
I'm
order
not.
to harass us and make
I'm
people
not.
arrest you.
I'm not. Are you sure?
Absolutely positive.
So there's a couple of things to note in that. First of all, if you notice that it wasn't until he brought out his camera and took the detective's picture that the detective got really ticked and supposedly arrested him. Apparently that arrest was very short-lived, though. You know, it's people, cops in particular, they don't like being filmed. I mean, you'll hear cops say now, oh, I don't mind being filmed, and oh, it's okay, you can film me all you want. Well, the only reason they say that is because they have no choice. They know the courts have ruled, and it's kind of like a little child, and the little child has just been told that all the other kids get to eat cake, but he doesn't get to eat cake. And the little kid goes, well, that's fine. I didn't want any cake anyway. I mean, that's exactly what these cops sound like. So I noticed too that another instance in that they said it's harassment. He's harassing the police by taking pictures of them. Okay. I mean, one thing to notice is the idea, the mentality behind these cops when they're getting recorded doing their duty. It's their immediate knee-jerk reaction is basically, by recording me, you're accusing me of being a bad cop, or you're accusing me of doing something wrong. That's their knee-jerk reaction, is that basically you're making an accusation against them by simply recording. Another thing that just really I find astounding is, and we see this a lot in the videos, the cops, when you record their personal cars, they freak out. They really don't like that. And I really wish that the auditors would say this, because, in this circumstance, when we're filming the personal cars of police, in most cases, you can't even do anything with it. In California, police have their registrations blocked so that people can't look up their private car registrations and get their information. So there's nothing you can do with that information whatsoever. While they can get your license and they can find out everything about you. They can get a criminal history. They can get all the vehicles that you own, your insurance company. I mean, they can get an entire history about you just from your license plate. But here's what I'd like to see more auditors saying when they're recording private vehicles and the cops freak out about it. And I think what you should say to a cop is, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll stop recording your personal vehicle's license plates when you cops stop recording our personal vehicle's license plates. Because they're running around all over the place with these FLIRs, these cameras, these license plate readers, LPRs they're also called. And they're just cruising. They're capturing everybody's license plate wherever they go, parked on the road, and they're just waiting to see if, something pops up. Oh, a registration expired, or no insurance, or a warrant or something. And they're even going into private parking lots and cruising through the parking lots, just trying to find cars that are in violation. George Stevenson, hi from Scotland. I love Scotland. I'm Scottish by heritage, so I was there once. Beautiful, beautiful place. Hey, Tweak, happy Labor Day to you too. So this was the first video of this guy that I found interesting. Now, let's take a look at his next video here. And again, he's standing outside of police departments and things like that, just like we do here in the U.S., and he's recording.
Pardon? Minding my own business. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Why are you taking photographs of me and my car?
Because I can if I wish.
Why?
I don't wish to answer any questions. Who are you anyway?
That's who I am.
Well, don't push it in my face. Who are you?
So.
Pardon? It's all been recorded. What's your name? It's okay, we can identify you from your reg number and your attitude, no doubt.
Hello, SC News Upstate. How you doing?
You're going to lock him up, are you? Is that what you said?
You're harassing me. I don't want my picture taken, thank you. Alright, this is the police station.
You're assaulting me.
I'm not throwing you at all. This is the police ground.
You know, if somebody walked up to me and did that, man, they might likely get a knuckle right in their face. Let's take a look at, just back that up just a little bit one more time and see exactly what this guy does.
Said.
You're harassing me. I don't want my picture taken, thank you. Alright, this is the police station.
You're assaulting me.
I'm not throwing you at all. This is the police grounds.
Get off.
You're taking hold of me now.
Okay.
Did you catch that? The guy tries to grab his camera back away from the man that just stole it from him. And he said, "You're touching me now." The gall.
Stop there, please.
I'm going to the police station. Don't steal my camera.
You're assaulting me. You're under arrest. Come on.
You're assaulting me.
No.
Sergeant Wolfenden has already been out here to talk to me. He knows why I'm here. So let go before you've unlawfully arrested me further.
You've just taken hold of me there.
You've taken hold of me. This gentleman's a witness.
I've taken hold of you.
This gentleman's a witness. Would you mind being a witness, sir?
Come here.
Thank you.
Let's go speak to Sergeant Wolfenden then.
Yes, let's go and speak to him then. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name, please?
DC Redfern.
Thank you, DC Redfern. Why is this man unwilling to identify himself?
Let's just go inside and see if we can sort it out, shall we? Just come and have a sit down.
I'm okay here.
Are you sure?
I'm fine, thank you.
Just have a sit down.
Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? In that case, I'm going.
Just please.
No, I'm going. I've had enough.
I like that. She wasn't willing to say yes. She didn't want to get herself in trouble because she knew that wasn't valid. So she wasn't about to tell him that he was under arrest. No, I did not go out auditing today. I don't have a backup where I'm at here. So I've done a little bit of cop watching, but I have not done any auditing yet. But I will be doing some backup camera work for News Now Houston. He's going to come. I'm not going to say when, but it will be. Here we'll let you know when it does happen. But we don't want to let anybody have any advance notice or anything. But I will be a backup cameraman for News Now Houston when he comes to visit. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So now let's take a look at his next video here. Now, this guy here is a undercover cop. And I don't even think he's in a cop car. I think this is his personal car. But this guy seems to be like a Kojak wannabe, in my opinion. Take a look at what happens here.
I said, what are you doing?
I'm minding my own business. What are you doing?
I'll tell you what then.
Did you need it that close?
It's on macro setting, mate.
What does that mean?
Alright.
Hang on, let's get one of you then. Oh, don't be so shy. Listen.
Let go of the camera.
No.
You're under arrest. Conduct like close.
Right, okay, I'm under arrest, thank you. I'm under arrest. Sorry,
Right.
yes. What? Are you going to push me over the wall?
No.
What do I under? You've dropped your camera, my friend. Yeah, okay, pick it up there. Right.
Stand here, please.
Yes, I'll stand here. Am I under arrest?
Yes, you are.
On what charge, sir?
Conduct likely to cause a breach of the peace.
Okay. And how do you come by that? Just a minute.
Did you catch that? Breach of the peace. He's guilty of breach of the peace. And all he did is whip out his camera and try to take a picture of this detective right after the detective just took a picture of him about 6 inches away from his face.
I will. I can't. Hang on a minute. I'm only an old fella, you know. You need some backup. You're hurting me. Look, I'm not going to run off. If you want me to stand here, I'll stand here and talk to you. You told me I'm under arrest. That's fine. What's your name again?
I'm not giving you my name.
Why would you not want to give me your name when you're the arresting officer? I wonder why you're doing that.
I'm a police officer.
Oh, in that case, then you're assaulting me. I don't have to say you then.
I am a police officer.
All right. Well, in that case, I'd like to know your name, Mr. Officer.
2346.
2346.
I do know about this, young. I was just arrested for conduct likely to cause a breach of the peace. Thank you.
How do you come by that?
Look at that. Did you guys see that? He stuck his lollipop down on the wall and he just picked it back up and put it in his mouth. No, that's not a girl talking. It is a 62-year-old man that this cop is committing battery on right now. And, you know, a lot of people, I think, get very confused between assault and battery. And they claim assault when it's not assault, it's battery. So assault, you have to injure somebody to do an assault. Battery, on the other hand, is simply an unwanted or unwelcome touching. So just having a cop grab your arm or touch you, that's battery. That's not assault. And, you know, they can shove you out of a lobby or something like that. And again, that's battery. That's not assault. So I think some of these auditors, you know, the cops like to use that against them and say, no, that's not assault. And they know darn well what they're saying is, oh, technically it's battery and technically you're wrong. So I think if the auditors could work at making their terms more precise, you take that away from the cops, because now they're arguing about what's truly correct is that it is a battery, and much harder for them to deny that.
Because you were trying to get into my car.
I was not getting into the car.
Your camera was in my car.
It was not. You
It
don't.
was.
Please don't.
Now, did you ever see his camera in the cop's car? No, he was a couple feet away from the car, even when he was trying to take that cop's picture as he was getting back in the car. So that's a blatant, outright lie, which, as we know, cops like to do that. They're allowed to lie. I'm pretty sure in the UK they're allowed to lie to people just like they are in the US.
Don't get so angry about it, young man. There's nothing to be angry about. Would you like to know why I'm here now that you've arrested me?
Yes, go on then.
Well, your heart's beating so fast. Don't get so excited about it.
I'm not excited.
I've been unlawfully arrested on 3 previous occasions to this one.
I know you have.
In
But
fact,
on this occasion,
you know all about
you were
me.
sticking your camera into my car.
No, I did not. Yeah. Right. So what are we waiting for now?
I wait for somebody to come and convey you to the nearest police station.
Oh, right,
Because
excellent.
you're not getting into my private car.
Oh, is that your private car?
It is.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, we learn it. Well, do you have to twist my arm so far up my back?
Your arm is exactly where it was when I put it up your back.
It's still, well, you've released it slightly. Thank you very much for that. It's very kind of you. Oh, I think that's Detective Inspector Damien Carr, known very well to me.
Just stand still.
Hello, Mr. Carr. No, I'm not okay, Mr. Carr.
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
I'd like a chat with you, Mr. Carr. Thank you. Mr. Carr knows me very well. He's been to my house.
Good.
He's quite a nice man,
Good.
usually. I don't know why you're to be so aggressive with a 62-year-old man. You're just over the top with it. But maybe that lollipop in your mouth.
You know, Denise Lynn, I love it too. He is very calm. He does a very good job. Um, but it's funny. What really cracks me up about the English is the English can entirely cuss you out or say very mean things, and they sound perfectly polite while they do it.
You're just over the top with it. But maybe that lollipop in your mouth is making you a bit tougher, I think. Ooh. Hello, Mr. Carr. How are you?
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Carr.
Yeah, I'm not here to speak to you. Speak to...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. I'm not running away. So
Yeah, you'll be fine with us, won't you, fella?
Of course I will. I'm a very nice person.
Not saying you're not.
I'm confirming that I am. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's all right. Mr. Carr knows me.
Does he? I don't even know Mr. Carr.
He's from PSD.
Ah, right.
Yeah. This gentleman will be getting to know him more when I make a complaint about yet another unlawful arrest.
You can make what complaints you like, can't you?
I can, yes, thank you. Yeah. I trust you two have never had a complaint made against you. You seem very nice people.
Unfortunately, people can complain.
Do they?
Nature of the job.
Yeah. Well, if they've done something wrong, they deserve to be arrested. But when they've done nothing wrong, then it's a different story, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we don't know what's going on.
That's right.
So,
yeah,
we can't comment, I'm afraid.
Yeah. This gentleman who won't give me his name in the grey top is blatantly lying about me, and anyway, it'll all come out in the wash, won't it? Yeah.
It's warm today, isn't it?
It's very cold. I've been stood out here a good while, taking pictures of officers and working out who the good ones are and who the bad ones are.
Yes,
so
we're aware.
you're aware. Well, that's good. Yeah. Well, that's
We're Wakefield officers, we are.
all right. So you'll know a man called Mr. Raby who unlawfully arrested me and assaulted me.
I think you're under arrest, so you can't use that at the moment.
Oh, sorry, sir. Sorry. In that case, then let me switch it right off. I don't know why it's not retracting. Oh, I think he's damaged it. Look, it's damaged. It won't retract now. When he threw me over the wall. So that seems to be what's gone on there.
Okay.
So, oh dear. That'll be some more expense for the police then to put that to rights. Okay, well, I can't.
Just put in your pocket for now.
It won't even go in the case anymore, but I'm glad that you're here to see as a witness that my camera is now damaged by one of your officers, fellow officers, shall we say. But
There's waterproof ones, that one?
it is, yes. It's one that you use on your motorcycle, or you can even go underwater with it.
Attached.
Well, yeah, this is on a chest
Right.
strap, but you can, in fact, I'll
Right. The guy's camera doesn't work. It won't shut off. It kind of reminds me of News Now Houston, where his delete button is broken. News Now Houston, boy, that guy for the last couple of years, man, he really needs a new camera. That delete button just has been broken for like 2 years now. It's it's a misnomer to think that cops in the UK don't carry guns, because they do. There's some of them that do. Not all of them do. They've kind of got different levels of cops, and there's certain ones that are allowed to carry guns, and then there's other ones that don't carry guns. And it's, detectives and stuff like that, they carry guns. It's more of the lower level enforcement officers that don't, which is, really kind of a good idea, because I think you don't increase the escalation at that point, and if need be, they can always call for backup that have guns. William, not yet. I'm working on that, but I have not done that yet. I'll probably work on doing that a little bit later today. So I've got to do some reading on the Discord and see and try to figure out how it works. So, right, Froggy. The beat cops don't carry. The ones that just go around on the beats, they don't carry guns. And in the UK, they've got actually really, really strict laws if you commit a crime with a gun. So they've really kind of made it a big disincentive to use a gun in a crime, because the penalties are just vastly larger. So yes, there is less crime there, but funny thing is, we used to make a joke here in the U.S. about the gun control, and you'd get some stabbings, and you'd go, oh, well, what about knife control? What about knife control? Because people can just use as easily, well, not maybe just as easily, but people can easily use a knife for mass stabbings and creating mayhem. And we've seen that before. We've seen it in England. When they don't have guns available, they're going to find something else, whether it's knives, whether it's vehicles, because you see a lot of that in Europe, people using cars or trucks to run over people. And we used to laugh about, oh, ha, you should have knife control too, knife control. Well, guess what? In England, in London, the mayor of London has actually proposed knife control for the city of London and the banning of selling knives in London. That's how ridiculous this kind of stuff has gotten. So, yeah, you'll see if you look in the news, there is a lot of knife attacks over in the European Union, even down in Africa. They had that attack on that school with all the school children, and a whole bunch of them, a bunch of that was being done with knives, and a bunch of people were killed with knives. They've had mass killings with knives. So it's not just guns that you can go out and kill many people with. All right. Here's the last video that I want to show you about from West. Here's his thing. West Yorkshire Police in action. Apparently he's had 7 instances. And here's what he said. These videos were taken whilst trying to get answers from West Yorkshire Police for previous incidents of serious wrongdoings. The incidents in the videos, along with a number of others, formed 7 cases against WYP for wrongful arrest and assault, for which a 5-figure settlement was agreed and paid. So he did sue them. He got a settlement. Don't know exactly how much, but it was somewhere over $10,000 and under $100,000, somewhere in that range. So, just witnessed a cop sprinting last week in Scotland. He caught up with someone in 200 yards when the guy had a 50-yard start. Very fast. Yeah, well, that is very fast. That's pretty atypical for here in the U.S., where a lot of the cops are overweight, and some of the people running are very fast sprinters. So I declined Google user agreement. Can we just discuss how it is important to voice what is being done and said to you after you know that you have been illegally detained? Sure. I mean, are you talking about voicing on the camera what's being done and said to you to make sure that you've got documentation? You're documenting everything for bringing it back up. Vendra Victor, Sacramento cops ran down that 16-year-old kid for not having a light on his bike. Yeah, I posted a video about that. That was completely unnecessary, and that is using deadly force, and deadly force was absolutely not called for in that action or in that situation. Apparently that kid, it sounded like he did end up having a warrant or something. I don't know what for, and I'm not 100% certain that that's true. It's I found some other videos, and later in the video it said something about having a warrant for the kid. So, you know. All right, let's take a look now. On this last video of his, he's in a parking lot. And I don't know, it might be the police parking lot or something. But the police van that you see here had the right-of-way and should be going first to leave this parking lot. Only the police van wanted this old man to go first. And this is a typical police ploy. You know, if they want to mess with somebody, they want to get behind them, so then they can find some sort of violation to pull you over and start harassing. Well, this 62-year-old man was having none of that. He wasn't going to go first. So the cop got angry that he's not obeying him and going out of his turn for the right-of-way because the cop wanted him to. So let's take a look.
Window down.
No.
What?
No.
Why not?
Am I under arrest?
I'm not saying you're under arrest.
Okay, in that case, am I free to go?
You're not going.
Okay.
You're not free to go. If you failed to stop for me.
Okay, I haven't failed to stop. I'm stopped.
Put your window down so I can have a chat then.
I can hear you quite clearly.
Put your window down.
I don't take orders from you.
What's your problem?
What's your problem? Do you not know the rules of the road?
Yeah.
You're on the major road, I wait, you go.
And listen, don't get cocky.
Don't you get cocky?
You took a photo of me when I'm coming in.
Correct.
There's nothing wrong with taking a photo.
Correct.
But then, what are you doing?
None of your business.
I want you to get out, so I want to chat with you.
I don't want to chat with you.
Make sure all your documents are right.
Okay, give me a producer.
You what?
Give me a producer and I'll bring it.
I want you to get out, so I want a word with you. Put your window down.
For what reason?
I want a word with you.
For what reason?
Don't try and be smart. Put your window down.
For what reason?
Stay there. You drive off from me, I'll follow you, and I'll smash your window.
That's what you're trying to do. That's your intention. That's why you wanted me to come out so you could follow me.
Are you bored or something? Are you bored today?
I don't answer questions.
Don't you dare drive off. You're holding everyone up as well.
I'm not. You're holding everyone up.
Why are you being so cocky?
I'm not. I'm stating facts.
Don't let him drive off.
I'm not driving off. If you've asked me to stay, I'll stay for a while.
That's registration if you can. What's your name, please?
I don't answer questions.
You what?
I don't answer questions.
I said, what's your name?
I told you I don't answer questions. Which part of I don't answer questions don't you understand?
I'm telling. What's your name?
I don't answer questions.
Listen.
Am I under arrest?
No, but you
okay.
have to tell me details.
I do not.
Section 163 of the
Rubbish.
Traffic Act. I want to know.
Rubbish.
Don't.
You already know my name. I just heard it on the radio, so you know what it is.
No, that's you.
Okay. Well, how do you know it's me if I said it was?
I'll tell you something. You're not going until we find out who you are.
Okay.
You could be anyone.
Okay. And you could be. Are you really a police officer? What's your name? 6323. What's your name, sir? Would you identify yourself? And Mr. 7013 stood in front of my van.
Not interested.
Put it down then if you're not interested. I thought it might answer a few questions for you, but obviously you're not interested.
Unbelievable.
Good, it's all right.
You're unbelievable.
We'll see you on YouTube then. You're unbelievable. I know what you're doing. I know what dirty tricks you're up to.
Well, shall I tell you something then for your camera?
Yeah, go on.
Under 163 at Road Traffic Act, you're meant to tell me your details.
Okay, right.
Irrespective of
Stephen
whether you
Bradbury.
or not.
Stephen Bradbury.
You're driving on a public road.
Stephen Bradbury. I'm not on a public road yet. I'm still in the car park. We haven't even got on the road yet. I'm in the car park.
Is this a public car park?
Correct,
At this
yes.
particular time?
Yes.
So you're on a public road.
I'm not on the road. I'm in a car park. We just stated it's a car park. Look, my name is Stephen Bradbury.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. We're
You're
getting
welcome.
somewhere.
But you're not interested in reading
Bored,
this.
aren't you? Stick that on YouTube.
Why are you so ignorant? You're a public servant. You work for me and everybody else in West Yorkshire. Okay. That's why I don't wish to answer any of your questions, because you're
Right,
too
you know what?
ignorant.
In future, come without a vehicle. Alright?
I'll do whatever I wish.
But as
I don't
soon
need you to dictate
Stephen,
terms to me.
As soon as I got out, you were straight in here, straight locked your door.
Of course.
And put your seatbelt on
Because
and
I knew
tried to drive
exactly
off.
what you were doing. No, I wasn't trying to drive off at all. I knew exactly what you were doing.
Backside.
Is that how you speak to the public? Call them a pain in the backside and clear off? You're ignorant. This is West Yorkshire Police at their very best.
See, now, that's something that's a little bit different than in the UK than it is here in America. I believe that in the UK, they can demand your details, what they call them, your papers, if you're driving on a public road. Now, of course, this guy, he points out he was in the parking lot. He wasn't even on the road. The cop claimed that, yeah, they can do them in a, quote, public parking lot as well. I don't know if that part's true, but from my understanding is you don't even have to make a traffic offense or violation in the UK for a cop there to demand your details, your information. So, I mean, if somebody knows something different on that, please let me know. But from the things that I've seen, that appears to be true. That they don't have to have an offense. So, yeah, I really like this old man. I think he did a really good job. He kept his cool. He was polite. He pointed out the failings of the police in these cases. He, pointed out when they were being rude and when they were hurting him, and that he didn't do anything against them. All he did was take their picture. So, in Canada, police officers cannot demand your papers if you're traveling frequently. I don't know what that means. If you're traveling frequently, they cannot demand your papers. Does that mean if you travel infrequently, they can? I'm not really sure. So, what do you guys think about this guy? Do you have any criticisms? Is there anything you think that he should have done differently? Or do you think he handled this very well? Now, I will also, while we're here, let me give you a little bit of an update on the video that I've got out of the man on the boardwalk that gets a ticket for filming, where they say there's no filming allowed in the entire city, public or private property, without a permit. His name was Zoom Truth. Now, they are still prosecuting him, but he has been going back to that boardwalk just about every day, apparently, since that time. And they have not tried to give him any more tickets. So they're just leaving that alone. But he apparently is on a hunger strike. So he is refusing to eat until this issue is settled, which I'm not sure that that's a great, that I would highly recommend that, because I'm not so sure that the Point Pleasant Beach mayor or police give a rat's ass whether or not he eats or whether or not he dies. Matter of fact, I think they would probably prefer if he does die, because then they can, then they don't have to deal with him anymore. I do know that they were quite upset about all the phone calls that were made, and when people were asking them if they needed a permit for their barbecues or their birthday parties or their vacation pictures, apparently the police there were very rude, on the other hand, and saying, no, of course not, and all this stuff. Well, if that's the case, then why are you still prosecuting this guy? And yes, Bao is free. If you have not heard, Bao is free. The Bao movement has come. And as James Freeman said, it was a mess. Apparently, for Bao, they decided that his time served was enough. Is he live now? Okay. Yeah, they decided, which, to me, this was really weird, though. Why? Have you ever heard of somebody being let out on a Sunday? Who was around to make the decision on a Sunday that the time served is good enough? The only thing I could think of is that somebody made the decision on Friday and they waited until Sunday to release him. Especially a Sunday on a holiday weekend. I mean, that just seems really odd. And I don't know why they did time served. When he got sentenced to 6 months, and how long ago was the conviction? Was it like 2 weeks ago or something like that? I mean, it hasn't been very long since the conviction. So I found that odd. It makes me wonder if this is something to do with, jail overcrowding, because a lot of times, a lot of places are having the issues with jail overcrowding. And so they go through and they pick the lowest offenders and they kick them out. So Vondra Victor, yeah, Sunday is not a processing day for jails. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Really strange. What, on a Sunday? That's really bizarre to me. And that kind of sends red flags up. Like, what was the deal with that? And I've watched some of Bao's live streams. I haven't heard much of an explanation other than time served and the whole thing's done. The other thing that I thought was strange is they kept talking about how they had 10 days that they could hold him for Bexar County to come pick him up. And my understanding was Bexar County wanted to put him in jail right away too. So why did Bexar County not come pick him up? Why did they let him out? Why did they not hold him for the up to 10 days that they could have for Bexar County to come pick him up? Or does Bexar County just want to go and arrest him from his house or off the street again? I mean, I don't know if they've got something outstanding for Bao right now. You know, when Bao, I went on the live stream when Bao was still outside the jail, and I was writing in the chat. I was going, run, Bao, run, get out of there before Bexar County gets there, you know, because, you know, I don't think Bexar County would even care if it was a Sunday and a holiday. They want Bao, so I would have thought they might have sent somebody. So, if they really want to keep you, they will keep you, no matter how crowded the jails, if they're trying to prove a point or scare you. Well, yes and no. I mean, a lot of times it's not up to them. There are some people that go through the rolls of the jails, you know, because like I know in California this is court ordered because we've had such jail overcrowding here, that they go through the rolls and they will routinely kick people out of the jail. And you know, and the I don't think the judge has anything to say about it. The guards don't have anything to say about it. So, sun shower Sunday alone weird, but a holiday weekend Sunday even more odd. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And I don't know what that's all about. It just, you know, kind of made the hairs stand up on the back of my neck. Like what's going on there? Really strange. Conditions for him to be released from solitary was no politics or activism talk with others. Oh, I had not heard that, Jay. I did not know that they were putting restrictions on his free speech as a condition of releasing him from solitary. But yeah, it sure seemed like he wasn't out of solitary for very long before they kicked him out of the jail altogether. Have I ever been to jail before? I have got arrested one time, and I was in a holding cell for a few hours, but that's it. Vondra Victor, my public pretender was amazed when they held me during overcrowding. Okay, well, yeah, sometimes they can do that. I don't know how that works. A lot of times they might just get the order to kick you out, and then they just conveniently lose it or put it at the bottom of the stack, or who knows. So he's out with James doing audits. Yeah, I saw last night. I mean, he can do what he wants to do, but if I was him, I mean, I might be a little bit cautious right now. I mean, look at what they did to Mexican Padilla. They don't like these people going out and recording them and holding them accountable. And right now, they've got a little bit of power over Bao, and they're going to use that power. Now, if the thing with James Freeman is he is out on pretrial release from Arizona, but he's in Texas. So it would really be the Arizona police or Arizona probation that would be the ones that would have the authority to come search his house and stuff like that. I believe the Texas police still kind of have the authority, but not quite the same as the Arizona probation department or something this. William Rand, are you an anarchist? No, I am not an anarchist. I believe that we do need to have some law and order. I believe police are necessary. I believe that government is a necessary evil. It's something that we need to have. I do believe in a limited government, and I do believe in an accountable police force. They need to be held accountable. The government needs to be held accountable. But anarchy, I really don't see it working because there's just too many people out there that would abuse the kind of privileges that anarchy society would give them. And then they're taking away other people's rights, and that's not right either. So if they say it's all done, said and done, can Bao still appeal? Yes, he can, and I hope he is. He should be appealing on the constitutional grounds. I don't necessarily know that appealing because he got an unfair trial that would be a completely moot point at this point, because since his time is served, saying that you got an unfair trial, the only rectification for that is to give you a new trial, and there's no reason to give you a new trial if your punishment has already done. So what he needs to do is appeal to have the conviction erased from his record, so that he doesn't have that showing on there as a previous conviction. So that's something that can follow you around for the rest of your life. So you definitely want to get those erased. And really, though the all these things that the judge did about not allowing the video, not allowing the evidence, the objections that were upheld and the objections that were overruled, none of those things actually even matter anymore, and there's no reason to, they're not going to listen to an appeal on that because it's a moot point. It doesn't matter anymore. So really the only thing that he can appeal is the constitutionality of how the law was applied to Bao and the constitutionality of the law itself. So, hello Cybertron, how's it going? Anarchy for drug addicts in certain areas has already begun in safe zones. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure if that's technically the definition of anarchy, but I guess to a certain extent it might be. I believe in freedom and rights, so you thought I was an anarchist? Okay, I didn't know that people believe in freedom and rights are anarchists. I would probably put myself a little bit more in the libertarian realm, but not even really a full-fledged libertarian, because a lot of libertarians, their ideas are technically anarchy. I mean, a bunch of libertarians don't think we should have police at all, and that we shouldn't have government and all sorts of things that I believe would be totally unworkable. I just don't think it would work in a large civilized society. It might work on a very small scale in isolated places, but for something the size of the United States, it would never work. Frontline, Cybertron, boy, I sure was hoping you were fighting that charge. Frontline, don't get it wrong. He is fighting the charge. Cybertron is fighting the charge, and Cybertron is still planning on suing the Weld County Sheriff's Office. It's just a matter of they are forcing him to go to trial, and depending on how they do that, if they do like they did Bao, or if they don't allow certain evidence, I mean, that's something that might have to be fought against and might make it more difficult to be found not guilty. They have told Cybertron that they are not allowed to use First Amendment. They're not allowed to bring that up. Freedom of speech, First Amendment, none of that stuff is being allowed to be brought up in his trial. So the judge said she's already ruled on it, and so it can't be brought up. Yes, our founding fathers told us that we need a limited government. We had a very limited government. Unfortunately, Abraham Lincoln pretty much put an end to that. A lot of people don't realize that much of what Abraham Lincoln did during his tenure as president was completely unconstitutional, and he just didn't give a hoot. He just did it because he felt that the ends justify the means, that it was more important to end the slavery and to make a stronger federal government than it was to continue as things were going. So, I mean, that kind of was the beginning of the end as far as a lot of our liberties and the Constitution was concerned. Nope, he cannot bring up his constitutional protections at trial. They told Cybertron that they believe that he was protesting, when he went and recorded these crashed vehicles and stuff on this dirt lot that was county property. So hopefully, if I've got some time, I'm planning on doing another little video for Cybertron in regards to exactly what he was doing when he was recording those vehicles and what he said. Because if you listen to it, it's very clear that he was not protesting, and it's very clear that what he was doing was giving information to his viewers. He talked about the hazardous waste recycling. He talked about the auction row. He talked about how it seemed pretty good that there weren't that many wrecked cars, that they must be fairly good drivers there in Weld County. So, I mean, we'll see that. Yeah, the things about his First Amendment rights and stuff, those things would have to be brought up on appeal if it gets to that. Hopefully it won't get to that. I think people should realize under the jury instructions for Colorado for that criminal trespassing third degree, I think they'll realize that he doesn't fit the definition, that there should have been some sort of a sign. There should have been, something letting Cybertron know, or letting a reasonable person know that you're not welcome in that area. And there was nothing like that. By the way, Cybertron, did you ever check yet to see about that visitor parking sign that you think is, or that you believe is there? Froggy Master says, have you ever read No Treason, the Constitution of No Authority? No, I can't say that I have, but now that you've brought that up, I will definitely go give that a look. Graham Guitard says, Cybertron, win the fight for us Autobots. All right. Yeah, Cybertron is working now. He's driving truck. So congratulations, Cybertron, on your new job. I saw that picture of your truck. That's quite a beast there. So. William Rand says, Maximillionaire, you are an anarchist. I think you just don't know it yet. Well, unless I am completely mistaken on what the definition of an anarchist is, I'm pretty sure that I'm not one. Not in the fullest sense of the word. I mean, maybe a couple of the things I might agree with, but not on the general principles of anarchy. Flood the ACLU with calls from sea to shining sea. Yeah, well, this is Cybertron's case. He's got a good attorney working for him. These are the guys that got that $41,000 settlement for the other auditor there in Colorado for getting detained and put in the back of a police car for filming. So I think from all the indications that I've seen, it looks like they're going to do a good job, or they're doing a good job. So hopefully they're going to bring up how this law, the third degree criminal trespass being brought against Cybertron, would be unconstitutionally void for vagueness or over breadth. and especially as applied to Cybertron. So, I mean, there's definitely a case to be made there. Frontline Media says that's the whole problem. None of these people in authority follow the Constitution, and these cases aren't about facts. They're about papers and stupid court rules. Unfortunately, you're right, Frontline Media. A lot of times they are about their little rules and stuff like that, and that's why it's so difficult for somebody representing themselves to win, because they know all the games and they know all the rules, and other people don't. So generally, you have to do a lot of studying to try to represent yourself in a case, and that's why Cybertron has a lawyer taking care of this, which is a great thing, I think. The other people I can see, though, representing themselves, because a public defender is not necessarily better than just representing yourself in many cases. So, what about the guy that drove through the parking lot? Why didn't he get cited? Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a 14th Amendment clause. It would be equal protection. Why would you get arrested and not the other guys that, the guys in the truck that came in there too? They were definitely watching them. If they cared so much about that, why didn't they swoop in right there and, arrest them? Obviously, it was because of the content of your speech, Cybertron. Lysander Spooner. That name sounds familiar, but I can't think of it on the top of my head. Froggy Master 77 says, William, most don't know what it really is. Voluntarism is a better term. Yes, voluntarism is a better term. Peeps hear anarchy and think Molotov cocktails. Yeah, to a certain extent. A lot of people think of lawlessness, or a society without any rules, where everybody does whatever the hell they want, which is why that's why I said a total system of anarchy I don't agree with. There are some principles in there that might be applied to our society. Vonder Victor says, how can a judge rule that you cannot use the Constitution? That's just war-worthy. Because the way our legal system works right now is when you have certain arguments or certain things that you want to bring up in trial, the judge, first you have to bring them up to the judge in motions, and then the judge can rule on them before you go to get in front of a jury, so that the jury doesn't get tainted with items that shouldn't be allowed to be brought up in front of them. So, I mean, unfortunately, that's the way the system works, and you can't appeal that stuff until everything's over, until the whole case is done. So a judge can rule against you on all sorts of stuff, and you can't appeal that until the case is over. And if you get convicted, then you can appeal it. If you don't get convicted, then it doesn't matter. They've done whatever they've done, and there's no ramifications, and you won anyway, so you're not harmed, according to them. Maximilian Error, I'm not trying to label you. If I've done so, I apologize. Okay, yeah, I can appreciate that, because it's too easy to label people with terms that are many times inaccurate. The left likes to label some people on the right or the alt-right as Nazis or KKK when maybe they're not. And it's just a way to shut down the debate. Because once I've labeled you this, then I don't have to argue with you anymore, because now your arguments are no longer valid, because I've labeled you an anarchist or labeled you a Nazi or, something like that. Yes, we were supposed to originally have common law. We weren't even supposed to have civil law, but what happened was the people demanded it. the people back in the day demanded that we have some sort of civil law so that they could sue people over things that went wrong. And it was basically the government giving in to popular demand that we have these kind of laws and stuff like that. So, I mean, the people brought this stuff in, and it would take the people to get any of this kind of stuff back out. Yes, exactly. A sovereign citizen. That's another thing. Once you know, they want to label you a sovereign citizen. That way, that means anything that comes out of your mouth is invalid and just stupid because you're a sovereign citizen. Most are so sensitive, thin-skinned. What happened to us? Yeah, but I don't think some of these labels have anything to do with being thin-skinned. I mean, in Leon Valley, they are trying to label all of us in this free speech movement as sovereign citizens and as anarchists and anti-government, when that's just not the case. I mean, I'm not anti-government. I believe we need to have government. Like I said, just a more restricted, and a smaller government that only has certain things that they're allowed to do. That's all. Well, I think I'm about wrapping this up, unless you guys have any questions you want to bring up to me or anything like that. Some labels are very dangerous. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can get placed on a terrorist watch list for having these labels. So that's why I try to be very clear on what I believe and what I do not believe, because I don't want to get one of these labels that is completely inaccurate. So, all right. So yeah, it was good chatting with you guys. I hope you all have a great Labor Day. And let me leave you with this parting thought that we all need to know our rights. We all need to exercise our rights, or we will all lose our rights. Thank you guys all, and talk to you again soon.